Good morning, it's Angus Wood from Stod. Just in my kitchen, I'm isolated. I imagine that's familiar to a lot of us. Got my little Stod sign up, I'm not sure how long I'm going to go away with that for. I've got my COVID cut, it's getting a little bit tragic. And I'm here to talk to you about these. So, we got it made. It's the final iteration of our pour at home sparkler. We haven't made many, we've made a few. We've managed to get some over to Dean Clough, to the bar. Because we haven't been able to make many, COVID, all that stuff. What we're doing is we're basically giving them away if you buy a load of beer off us. So give those guys a call, buy a fantastic product, Stod Bag & Box product. Don't forget that a third of what you spend with us, we pay forward to your local pub to help them reopen via our Phoenix project. So you're doing some real good there. As I say, it's a great product, lasts for ages in the box because the bag closes around it, you don't get a load of air in. And we think the product is even improved a little with the addition of one of these. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate to you today. So let me just snip the corner off this and get it out of its package. So I've essentially had, in one form or other, to experiment with various predecessors of this over about the last 6 months, and this is the final one. This is the one that will come to you at home, and so therefore I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get the best out of it. It's just a tool. The end product will be determined by the user of the tool, and that's you. So I want to tell you, through my experience, how to get the best out of this. Okay, so you've got your device, your sparkling device. You're going to need one of these. You've probably got one. I imagine you can find one. It's just a soda bottle. Lots of people make them. Really, it just needs to hold a bit of pressure, which they all do. And essentially, in terms of the size, if it's about 4 times whatever you want to decant out of it, that's probably the most convenient size. You can make it work with other sizes, but if you want to decant a pint, something around the 2 litre mark works best. Because it just means that to squeeze a pint out, I've only got to compress it by about 25%, which is convenient and allows it to return to its size again. Now, that doesn't mean only put 25% in it. You could fill it, take it down to the beach. Don't take it down to the beach now, but after lockdown, take it down to the beach, take it to a barbecue, the equivalent of putting a 4-pack in your bag, or whatever it is. So it's just a convenient way to carry it around. Not ideal for long-term storage, because you get this air pocket in here, it's a half full. That's what allows the bag & box to last for so long, because it collapses around the products. You don't get contact with oxygen for a great deal. But, for a trip out, perfect. For a trip down the garden, perfect. So, what I tend to do when I first get a bottle is I just pour a pint, look roughly into it, and it's just in order to be able to mark off. So if I am just at home and having the odd beer and don't want to have loads sat around in it, I can just pour a pint in there, I'll mark it off with a marker, and then when I come to it, I'm not overfilling it. And I know what you're thinking, Angus, but you've poured half of that, slopped it all around the side, but as any good northern frugal landlord will tell you, the beauty of a pint where the head is, it's not even a pint. You've got to leave a bit of space for the head. So mark it off at that, whatever if you just roughly pour it, you'll end up with about a pint minus 3/4 of an inch, which is about what you want. Okay, so we just need to get some beer. Here's one I prepared earlier, and what I'm going to do is demonstrate to you the utility of this design under a couple of different conditions, because that's what you're going to utilise to pour the perfect pint. So it performs slightly differently, dry and wet. So what do I mean by that? Well, dry if it's not in contact with the fluid that you're expelling, and wet if it's submerged. So it performs slightly differently. We've tried a lot of different sizes of head, a lot of different variants. This is got 6mm holes and 16 of them. Because we feel that that's the best to extract the best performance for you guys at home with this particular setup. So I'm going to do 3 examples, 2 at the extremes where you don't want to go, and then finally, hopefully in the middle where you do want to be. So firstly, I can really get a lot of froth into this by keeping it out of the water. So I'll just do a quick half pint in here. Little trick to remember. Obviously, this hasn't got a valve in, so as you append it, you'll start to lose some liquid out the bottom. Now that just means do it over the glass, like you would any other open bottle. So this one, I'm going to not put into contact with the fluid and just pull half a pint, and you'll see we can get a lot of froth. Okay, so that's fairly ridiculous. That's loads more than you need. And actually what's happened there is you're not really withdrawing a lot of the gas within the product, you're adding a lot of froth from the air around it. You've got these very large bubbles, and mark my words, that head will not be long for this world. Nice and attractive, but effectively it will be lost quickly. You haven't extracted a huge amount of gas from the actual product, you've just added froth. So conversely, if I go completely the opposite way and submerge it throughout, so I get it submerged and then okay, better. We haven't got as much head, but what we have got is actually the type that we want. And you can see that I've got the nice lacing there you'd expect, and it's very fine bubbles. So it's gas that's been expelled from within the liquid more so. So that's a completely dry pour, and this is what I'd call a wet pour. And you can just see by looking at them where you want to be is somewhere in the middle. Now, these are the same glasses that we'll send out to you at home, tulips, it doesn't matter. Same effect in any other glass. So I'll try and do a full pour here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to essentially not put it all the way to the bottom, so I get cracking with the head dry, and then ultimately it'll be swallowed up. So I get cracking, I'll get some activity going, and then it'll be swallowed up, and I'll start to release more from the CO2 that's held within the product in suspension, and hopefully we'll get a half decent pint. So I'll start about there, let it go under, and then I guess just as we come to the top here, I'll start to just back it off slightly and then in my excitement, I've probably just overcooked it slightly, and we can top it up. But you can see that we've got a nice big head of really fine bubbles, exactly the sort we want. And you can reduce the amount of effort you put into the tube, do it one-handed. But so the reason we've gone for the design of this head as it is and all the rest of it means you don't have to be a fella, you don't have to crush it, you can get what you need with a fairly light squeeze of the bottle, as long as you vary that amount in it. So essentially, that's the long, short and middle of it. That's how we get the perfect pint in isolation. I will just have a taste of that, knock the head off. Delightful product, that's Dr. Harris, a bit early in the day for me. So there you have it. Quite pleased with that. Hope you will be too. It's not a lot of hassle in terms of cleaning it, rinse it out. I wouldn't use massively hot water all the time because these things start to deform the plastic. You'll just shrink the plastic slightly and it'll start to get a bit noisy and a bit more annoying. It doesn't need it. As long as you just force some fluid through it. And if you're in for the evening, there's no point to be cleaning it every 2 minutes. Just give it a rinse out at the end of the evening. In terms of that, in terms of the sparkler itself, it'll go in the dishwasher. Just run it under the tap. As I say, there isn't really space for lots of nasty gremlins to be starting to build up into it. Everything's food grade, so it's nice and smooth finish on the inside. And your little combination should see you right for as long as you care to use them, so many years. There's nothing really breakable, that's by design. Enjoy. If you want one, give the bar a call. Get yourself a delivery organised or a collection. Say, I'm sorry we can't make a load more and sell them, just as a device, but we want people to enjoy them with the beer, and we can't make many of them just at the moment. So give us a shout, get some beer, enjoy the perfect pint at home. You say that's settled down nicely now. Cheers.